I want to break down whether or not Lomachenko is really a duck, because I've been thinking about it. I want to be respectful to a legend, the Matrix. Lomachenko's been one of those fighters that's gotten me excited about the sport in the last few years or so. He's one of those fighters like, yeah, I'll watch Lomachenko fight. He's fighting tonight, this and that. You know, I get excited for a Lomachenko fight night, a fight week of Lomas. I've been to a few of the fight weeks of his, you know, the press conferences, weigh-ins, all that. I got to meet him. Very nice guy. Obviously, you wouldn't expect anything less. There are a lot of rumors about him being a little bit, you know, arrogant, this and that. But, you know, when I met him, he was a good dude. But that aside, you know, just breaking it down to the facts, I feel like, you know, Lomachenko kind of knows, or at least knew what was going to happen against Tank. And it's not a situation of, you know, he couldn't do it in the past, because honestly, years ago, I might have picked Lomachenko to beat Tank. But like I always say, in these kind of passing the torch fights where one fighter has already accomplished, you know, everything they wanted to accomplish in the sport of boxing, and the other one's kind of in his prime and is at that superstar level, and I'm talking about guys like Tank and Shakur, there's always going to be that aspect of, you know, this guy's younger than me. What are the odds I can really pull it off? I don't really even want to do this anymore. The only reason I fought Kambosos was so that I could bring my father a title fight. Did that, accomplished that. What's his motivation to fight a guy like Tank after that? Lomachenko's a very wealthy man. He doesn't need the money in a big Tank fight. It would have been nice. You know, that was one of my selling points for making that Lomachenko and Tank fight happen over, you know, the Shakur fight. Even though maybe Shakur Stevenson maybe earned that Lomachenko fight. Maybe it would have been easier for Top Rank to make at some point. But no matter what, when these kinds of fights are even being talked about, you always got to think about the fact that, you know, one guy is going to be out of their prime and then the other one's going to be in their prime. And it could be the younger guy being the inexperienced one, and then the experienced guy wins. They have excuses about the young guy being inexperienced. So Tank obviously playing that long game, saying that I'd rather he's old already and then I fight him when I'm in my prime. But obviously Lomachenko's not interested, you know, quote unquote, not in the mood to fight, you know, this year, maybe in 2025. But I think there's a good chance that we don't see Lomachenko ever again, that, you know, maybe he's you know, thinking about hanging the gloves up, retirement in the near future, because what has he not done in the sport? He's became world champ. He's gotten a lot of belts, beaten, you know, some good fighters. I'm not going to say, you know, Lomachenko has the best resume in the world, because I don't think that. Obviously, fighting the bigger fighters, guys like Tio, guys like Devin, he struggled with that, but naturally, you know, very solid 30-pounder, and, you know, could easily clean out that division. Not that he hasn't done that already, but at 30 is where he kind of lived, and at 35, you see him have success, still become champ, but at the same time, you know, when he fought those physically stronger fighters, had a difficult time. So I kind of understand the aspect of, you know, at this point in his career, what does he really have to prove against a guy like Tank? What does he really have to prove against a guy like Shakur Stevenson? Because honestly, if you're being realistic, and Lomachenko is somebody that understands the sport and is going to respect the game of boxing, not that it's a game, but, you know, understanding the little things about the sport, and he knows that he can't be thinking even a little bit about retirement and then going into a fight with Tank, because not only does he risk losing against Tank, he risks getting stopped for the first time in his career, and that as a way to end your career, as opposed to fighting a guy like Kambosos, stopping him, and then, you know, getting the fight you wanted for your father. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if that's just the story, you know, or a fairy tale ending that, you know, Lomachenko was looking for, and I think he got it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lomachenko hangs him up, rides off into the sunset. He's earned that for sure. And the only thing that really frustrates me about it, and you know, I'm going to contradict my point a little bit, because before I was saying, you know, I respect the Lomachenko decision to retire. Of course I do. But like what I just did, a lot of people think about like he's earned that right, this and that. But and people also like to talk about, like I said before, he's not in his prime anymore. He's an old man. But the thing is as well, and the frustrating part is that I could have seen him pulling one of those fights off. That's what really is like a little bit hard for me to accept from, you know, him retiring. I'm not saying he's retiring. I'm not going to, you know, speak on his behalf, because he could very well maybe be interested maybe next year. But if I were to think about it, just because you're old, you know, that doesn't give you an excuse to kind of say, all right, let me forget about it. Like, obviously, you know, you guys heard what I said before. I understand it, but at the same time, as long as you're in that conversation, you know, you're the guy that beat Kambosos, right? For the vacant titles at 35 because Devin Haney vacated and went up to 40. So you're in the conversation, buddy, no matter what, no matter how old you are, no matter what you're going through, whatever you're saying about, I don't feel like fighting, you know, you're the champ. So obviously guys want to fight you. And if there's going to be a big fight on the table, people think about Tank and Shakur, who's the next name there? It's obviously Loma. So in a way, you know, I can't be mad at people, you know, calling Lomachenko a duck either, because at the same time, as much as, you know, I can understand that you're older, this and that, you don't want to, maybe you don't love boxing right now. Maybe you want to feel that sense of relief, like I don't have to do this anymore. But as long as you're an active fighter, as long as you haven't retired yet, boxing fans and, you know, the world of boxing media has every right in the world to put you in these conversations, because no matter what, you're still active. You know, if you don't want to be mentioned, then just say you're retiring. Retire, and then you can always come back, this and that. But the thing about Lomachenko is, you know, the frustrating thing is that I think he could maybe pull one of those fights off. That's why it's like a little bit intriguing to see. So whether or not you guys think it's a duck, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm curious to hear other perspectives, because for me, I see both sides, honestly. It's like, part of me is like calling him a duck because it's frustrating knowing that, you know, I think you might be underestimating yourself here. I think you might be able to pull it off, but why wait until, you know, 2025 where, you know, time's ticking, this and that, and you could age overnight. So why not, you know, make that fight happen? I'm not going to say that the version of Lomachenko necessarily beats, you know, beats Shakur, because Kambosos isn't on the level of guys like Tank and Shakur, obviously. No offense to Kambosos, he's a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. That's just the truth of it. And, you know, Tank and Shakur are elite. There's something different about the level of talent that Tank and Shakur have, that it's like, it's finally, you know, Loma has met his match. Not that he hasn't in the past with guys like Devin and obviously Teofimo Lopez, but with Shakur and Tank, they're not really like much bigger than Lomachenko. You know, Tank is the smaller fighter and Shakur is like right there with him. So it's not the very tangible and physical things about these fighters that you can really say, oh, this gives them the advantage. It's Tank's power, and then it's Shakur Stevenson, it's his jab, it's the IQ, stuff you can't really, you know, just build. It's not just from, you know, your eye level. You really experience the power, you really experience the IQ, the defense of Shakur Stevenson, you know, and when I said power, I was talking about Tank, respectfully to Shakur. Even Shakur said stuff like, I need to work on the power. I really don't think that power can be taught. I just think like you either have it or you don't. I think it's just one of those things. And at this point in Shakur's career, maybe he doesn't have that grown man strength, but it's kind of taken a while. And Tank is just blessed with power. He's had power since he was a kid. So, you know, there's always, like Shakur said, Tank is blessed with the ability to crack somebody and they're going to go down most of the time. And then Shakur has the eyes, the vision, the IQ to see shots coming before, you know, they actually are thrown by his opponent. So, you know, all these guys have talent. And then you have a guy like Loma. Like I said, it frustrates me because I really think, like, if anyone were to potentially pull off a win against either of these guys, Shakur or Tank, I feel like it could be Lomachenko. That's where the frustration for me stems from. But you know, like I said before, I still get it. I still understand that, you know, even though he doesn't have that many professional fights in comparison to a lot of, you know, other fighters that reach, you know, 50, 60, 70, Lomachenko, you know, he's a well-decorated amateur, so, you know, he's put in a lot of time even before the pros. And I understand, you know, maybe not wanting to put yourself through any more, maybe potentially risk getting knocked out in a retirement fight against Tank is maybe just not worth it for him, even though, you know, the money is there. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is Vasily Lomachenko ducking Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson? Let me know in the comments. And also let me know if you guys think he's retiring. I think he might, you know, hang him up. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
That's going to do it for another NASFIGHT Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.